Hello, and thank you for tuning in. My name is Valeria Rumori, and I'm the director of the Italian Cultural Institute in Los Angeles. I am truly delighted to present the online cinema festival Fare Cinema, a special event dedicated to Italian film industry professionals, highlighting their talent around the world, and thanks to the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, its current president Lorenzo Soria, and its restoration committee and board member Luca Celada, we are celebrating today the 100th birthdays of the great director Federico Fellini and the Golden Globe winning actor Alberto Sordi with exclusive content. Fare Cinema is virtual this year for its third edition from June 15th to June 21st on Right Play and on our YouTube channel. This initiative is promoted by the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation in collaboration with the Italian Ministry of Cultural Heritage and Activities, ANICA, Agenzia ICE, Luce Cinecittà, and it's organized in Los Angeles by the Italian Cultural Institute with the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. The Hollywood Foreign Press Association has been a major contributor towards movie preservation and restoration around the world, and it organizes annually a restoration summit and screenings with Cineteca di Bologna and the Lumiere Foundation. The Hollywood Foreign Press President Lorenzo Soria and board member Luca Celada have graciously accepted and agreed to give a special introduction to the exclusive clips they have provided, highlighting the careers of the film icons Federico Fellini and Alberto Sordi. Lorenzo Soria, a longtime member of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, and previously served as the president, and is also the current president. Born in Argentina, he moved to Milan, Italy in a young age, and he became a journalist for the Italian news weekly L'Espresso, and has been working for the national daily La Stampa since 1988. Luca Celada is a journalist, blogger, TV reporter with 20 years experience covering US politics, social trends, and culture. He is the senior editor of GoldenGlobes.com, the official news site of the Hollywood Foreign Press Association, and writes also for many other publications, including Il Manifesto and Rolling Stone. He is also a board member for the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. And now it is my honor and a great pleasure to introduce Lorenzo Soria.
Thank you, Direttore, for the introduction. People say Golden Globes and they think about a star-studded event and ceremony that many people also know as the party of the year. But there is a side that is a little less known and less glamorous to the HFPA, the Hollywood Foreign Press, the organization behind the Globes. It is our charity giving. That's really our deeper mission. Licensing fees from the broadcast show allow us to donate millions of dollars to create opportunities, provide access to undeserved communities, and foster the development of our future generation of filmmakers. We support also humanitarian relief efforts, promotion of journalism and freedom of the press, gender balance. Over the last 25 years, the HFPA's charitable trust has donated $37.5 million to over 100 organizations and provided over 1,500 scholarships. We are also very active in the We are also very active in the field of film restoration, where the HFPA is becoming one of the leading institutions in the field. We believe it's important to help preserve our cinematic heritage, to preserve the films which document the way we live, show us the way we felt, help us understand the experience of times different from ours. We started over 20 years ago with Martin Scorsese's Film Foundation. Together, we have restored close to 100 films, including Red Shoes, Elia Kazan's A Face in the Crowd, Sergio Leone's Fistful of Dollars. While keeping our partnership with Film Foundation, we have expanded our reach in restoration here in the US and abroad. We have made possible for the Lumiere Institute in Lyon to restore and bring back to life hundreds of 1-minute shorts by the Lumiere brothers. We have contact with UCLA Archives and MoMA in New York, with Film Noir. A few months ago in February, we had our second restoration summit where we had the presence of Serge Bromberg, who gave us a lively lecture on the original master of cinema illusion, Georges Méliès. Jane Fonda brought us back to the Vietnam War with FTA. At this summit, one of the last events before the coronavirus hit us all, we also presented a restored version of Federico Fellini's Roma, which we did in partnership with La Cineteca di Bologna, and where we had the privilege to assist to a really inspiring lecture by his director, Gianluca Farinelli. Let me introduce a promo that will help us illustrate what the HFPA has been doing in restoration.
Thank you once again, Lorenzo. Thank you so much for joining us with the Hollywood Foreign Press Association and to Luca Celada, of course. It will be a very special edition, this third edition of Fare Cinema. So please stay tuned in and enjoy.
It's really important that organizations like the Hollywood Foreign Press Association work with us to preserve our national patrimony.
Ciao Bologna! Sono qui per presentare Roma di Fellini.
Film restoration is a cause the HFPA has embraced starting in 1996, when we first partnered with Martin Scorsese's Film Foundation. Preserving our cinematic heritage is really about preserving who we are, our identity. Ultimately, preserving our own culture.
Thanks personally to the Hollywood Foreign Press Association for the project at the Egyptian Theater that's going to show films created on nitrate.
I did not know that the HFPA was so involved in film restoration. Perhaps we ought to invest as much money in saving films as we do in making them.
And now it is my pleasure to introduce my colleague Luca Celada, a board member at the Hollywood Foreign Press, and very active, along with a few colleagues, on the field of restoration. Luca.
So to be a journalist in Los Angeles and in Hollywood during Fellini's lifetime happily meant that we intersected with the maestro's career and life at a couple of points. I say happily, like when he received his Lifetime Academy Award, and then less happily, sadly, when he passed in 1993. And as a reporter here for RAI, in general, as an Italian journalist, trying to contact Hollywood personalities is not always easy. When the passing of Fellini happened, it was basically, there was a line of people calling us, wanting to comment, especially directors, a testament to how deeply Fellini had affected an entire generation of American filmmakers. Oliver Stone, David Lynch, just some of the names. I want to show a clip of Paul Mazursky. Paul Mazursky, a screenwriter, actor, and filmmaker of the new Hollywood generation, who loved Fellini and was deeply influenced. And different from others, was able to, when he was young, at the beginning of his career, have Fellini act in one of his films. Alice in Wonderland. It starred Donald Sutherland, and it was clearly inspired by Otto e Mezzo because it featured Sutherland as a young director who had had a big hit and now was struggling with what his second project could be on the backdrop of the Hollywood industry with all these larger-than-life characters and craziness. So obvious affinity there, but it was also a surrealist type of film, and it included real characters from filmdom. And one of these is Fellini. Many people had asked Fellini to star in their films, including Woody Allen. None was able to ever do so, but Paul Mazursky was. And here he tells that story.
I just finished Bob and Carol and Ted and Alice, which is my first picture. And I wrote a movie called Alice in Wonderland, which was about a movie director who'd had a big hit and didn't know what to do next. And he was dreaming in the style of other directors. Terrible problem. I still do it. And I'd written a scene in where he dreams in the style of Fellini, and actually meets Fellini at the editing room at Cinecittà. So I sent a telegram to Fellini saying, would you act in my movie? My name is Paul Mazursky, etc. And he sent me back a telegram that says, I don't know who you are, I never saw your movie, and I'm not an actor. I don't want to act in anybody's movie. I'm Fellini. But if you ever come to Rome, please call me. So I flew to Rome the next day, which is pretty crazy. And I got a hold of Mario, who was his right-hand man. And Mario called me back and said, well, Fellini will meet you at 8 o'clock in the lobby of, I think, the Grand Hotel. And I met him. And he started to laugh. He said, you're crazy. Why did you come here? I said, because you said in the telegram. And we became very friendly, and he acted in the movie. Now, there's more to the story. I had arranged that I would finish shooting the movie in California and then go to Rome at the end of the movie, which was like 3 months away, and do this scene in Cinecittà for one day. And about a week before when I was shooting in California, I get a call from Mario, and he said to me, the maestro has changed his mind. He doesn't want to do it. He can't do it. And I pretended I couldn't hear. So I hung up, and I went to Rome anyway with the cameraman, with Donald Sutherland, who played Alex. That's how Federico met him. He later used him in Casanova. And I called Mario. I said, I'm here. We're ready to shoot. The whole crew is here. He said, what are you talking about? I told you he's not doing it. I said, I didn't understand you. It must have been a bad connection. What am I going to do? He said, you go to see him yourself and tell him. I'm not going to tell him. He's at Cesarina having lunch. So I went to the restaurant, and I saw Fellini, and I said, Federico, and he looked up with pasta in his hand. He said, when do you want to shoot?
Now,
he's a great guy.
Donald Sutherland plays the director in crisis in this film, and the critics have obviously made the coupling with Otto Mezzo in some way. What's the connection there?
Well, look, there is a connection in the sense that I don't think I sat down and said, I'm going to try to make my 8.5. I'm not that crazy, But everybody, fell in love with 8.5 and with Fellini and before 8.5. And certainly many of us were influenced by Federico Fellini. How could you be in the film business and think of yourself as a filmmaker and not somehow be influenced by him?
What was the connection between Fellini and, I think, American authors of your generation, I think, very deeply?
What was the connection?
Why the influence of so many?
Look, first of all, there's never any simple explanation for a great poet who's also funny, which is Federico Fellini. He touches the human soul, the human condition, with a fantastic originality, and there it is. I mean, there is no. I don't think you have to explain it. It's just very profound. We all saw those movies, my generation, in the 50s. I never forget the first time I was in Greenwich Village in some movie house, and I saw Vitelloni. And I had never been to Europe at that time. And I was so profoundly moved by these 4 guys in Rimini, or wherever it was supposed to be, who I'd never known people quite like that but I understood them. And he touched your heart very deeply. And then he would turn around and do all those clown things in life, you know, whether it's you know, Checo Bianco or the clowns or just the, you know, the peacock and Amarcord, just when the feathers spread, you know, who knows why you moved when that old guy's up in the tree. It's Fellini. It's a word in our language, and the minute you say the word, you're touched by it. But I know him more as a human being. Forget all that stuff. He's somebody who likes to eat, likes cheese, likes to look at beautiful women, and who's funny, and who's a profoundly generous person.